Hi, this is Jen Wycliffe, and I wanted to do a little segment on the nutrition label. And I chose to talk about the nutrition label because I'm noticing more and more products in the market are listing very positive points about their product on the front of the product, kind of in hopes that you'll not turn the product around and look at the nutrition facts. Because the nutrition facts label will tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, which you need to know in order to pick out the best products for yourself and your family. I think a good example of this is in this Oat Mega bar. It talks about omega-3 fatty acids, it's low in sugar, it's got a high protein content. But then when I turn the product around, I can notice that only out of 200 calories is more than 1/4 of this fat calories. And then worse still are 2.5 grams of saturated fat. And so because I'm paying attention to saturated fat, I may or may not choose that bar. But this is the kind of thing that many product companies are doing. So let me tell you how to navigate this tool because it can be of great help to you. Before we go here, let me tell you about some changes that were made in actually fully implemented this year, but the decision to make these changes was made way back, if you can believe it, 5 years ago. Better late than never, right? Well, the first of these changes is that this label will be easier to see. Certainly, the calories and the serving size would be a lot, kind of glaring because it's in boldface and should be much easier for you to see. Also important to note is that while we have this trans fat at 0 grams for this product, is that that daily value would always be 0%. Always. We don't want any trans fat. The way it operates is very harmful to your cardiovascular system by reducing good cholesterol and increasing bad cholesterol. So zero, just think of this in your head, always is 0%. Another very nice attribute of this nutrition facts label is this breakout of added sugars from total sugar. And you say, well, why does that matter? Well, lots of products like milk is one that comes to mind that has naturally occurring sugar in it. And those naturally occurring sugars, like the sugar in an apple, they behave very differently in your body than added sugar. So we want to know this added sugar piece, and that's the piece we're going to do our calculations on. Important to note that even though there is not a percentage daily value here, that's a highly political topic. We'll have to change it. We'll have to, talk about that in another video. But know that the American Heart Association recommends 24 grams for women and 30 grams for men daily. That's it. That's your total allocation of added sugars per day. Also, this vitamin D, and 3 minerals are down here. And you say, of all the vitamins and all the minerals that could be, well, these are the ones that are in short supply in the American diet. So it makes sense that they would list those down here. And these are all according to a 2,000 calorie diet. So makes sense, right? All right, let's keep going and do a little math. I think I'm far enough over. Yeah, okay, up here is fine. So if I know that all fats, polyunsaturated, saturated, and unsaturated fats, they are all nine calories a gram. And that's an important thing to note because what I'm interested in here is of these 230 calories, how many are fat calories? Well, all I need to do is multiply that 9 times 8, and it tells me those are 72 calories from fat. You're like, okay, well, all right, well, I always look at fat and sugar because, yeah, carbohydrates matter, but if those calories from fat and sugar usually make up a bulk of a product, then I know that that product has to have some special part of it. In other words, it has to be a part of dessert or something I don't have too often. So if we look at sugar, and again, I'm interested in this added sugar, and sugar is a carbohydrate. I'm going to multiply that added sugar times 4. I have 40 calories from sugar, and I have 72 calories, 72 calories from fat. This gets me around 112, I believe. And so I have 112 of these calories, these 230 calories a serving, that are coming from sugar and fat. that tell me that this potentially could be ice cream. This could be this is a dessert kind of product. So I want to pay attention to what my serving size is, and I also want to pay attention to the fact that this is a rich product, rich in fat, rich in uh, sugar. So here we are. Let me make sure I said all I needed to say there. I think I did. Here we are at the dual label. Why the dual label? Well, with products that take extra ingredients, sometimes started out with the dual label, but I think the dual label is a great idea on ice cream. Why? Because sometimes we go way out of the servings per container. And so you can see that the dual label just breaks it down and says, hey, if I want to eat this whole thing, not that it's inspiring you to do such a thing, but at least you have the information right there. Also on cake mixes, cereal when we add milk, that kind of thing. Um, Trans fat. This is interesting because food manufacturers were able to get away with, depending upon how you see it, as if the trans fat is zero point 0.5 grams or less, it's not listed as trans fat. So it's in there, it's in the product, and anytime you see this partially hydrogenated anything, know that that's that fat that is designed to be hard at room temperature and allow a product to sit on the shelf for a very long time. So what food manufacturers did is that they made smaller the servings with products that have trans fat. And the reason for that is that they could get away with putting zero there. But because you know that you've seen this in the product list and the ingredients list, you know this product has trans fat and you know that it has maybe zero point 0.5 grams or less per serving. So say, for example, a serving was one donut. Well, maybe I have two donuts. Well, then I know that I may be at right under a gram, but I'm getting trans fat when I really should not have any trans fat. So just be smart about looking for this partially hydrogenated anything, palm oil, soybean oil, whatever the oil is, and then you'll know that trans fat exists in the product, and that in fact, in order to avoid it, you have to not buy the product. So my recommendation to you is to pay attention to this label, do the math, and get the best products for your family. Thanks for listening.